Hey everybody, blessings and thank you for clicking on this video. I'm recording on July 29th, 2024. My name is Letitia. I am a progressive, a pro-democracy, progressive idealist, agnostic, INFJ empath, aspiring poet and writer, and millennial mama 5. And these videos are called Tish Talks, where I share my political, layman, and intuitive millennial perspective on this timeline, on life, on, you know, politics, world issues, etc. And we are now 99 days away from the general election in the US. And I live in the US. I'm an immigrant in the US. And I believe that these elections are life and death. They are a fight against information warfare. They're a fight against a certain type of people and mindset and character. And they are a battle it is a battle between democracy and fascism, autocracy. The title of this discussion, this video, is called Political Updates, and it's basically looking at some of the interesting and significant things that have caught my attention in terms of politics and world news today, only today. The first thing I want to talk about is the elections and what is happening in Venezuela, which I saw as a cautionary tale for America and how super important it is to not let American democracy fall. It's a life lesson, and it is something to use as an example of the kind of situation that America will put itself in if it allows MAGA and Donald Trump and Trumpism to grab power, to take over following these elections and following these elections, if they allow MAGA to win these elections. So that is why I believe that it is more important than ever. It always have been, but it's very important that all of us do whatever it is that we can think of in our power to not let that happen. We have to put in the work because, like I've said many times, we are up against something bigger than we could possibly imagine, but we cannot let that scare us. We have to see the power in our unity. We have to see the power in our inner power, our inner strength, and our ability to come together and get the job done. So I have been seeing like some of the little video clips and stuff like that of what the Prime Minister of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, what he did, the actions that he has taken to stop the vote, basically, of the people, the voice of the people, and to declare victory, even though that may not be the case, to declare victory and use the military against people that are trying to vote and trying to sound their voice and trying to take back their democracy, take back their power, if they ever had a democracy. I have to do more research. But to take their power back. And remember what I tell you, that I am a layman trying to discuss politics and world stuff. And I am learning. This is a process of me learning and trying to understand what is going on, because I've come to realize everything that has happened in relation to Trump and MAGA and, politics over the last 8 years. I have learned how important it is for us to be awake and not asleep, for us to be engaged and not leave it to other people to be engaged, especially if you care about democracy. Democracy is something that has to be preserved and fought for. Freedom is something that has to be preserved and fought for. So I realized that I have to catch up. I have to learn. I have to understand what is going on. But from what I understand, the man has been in power from 2013. I believe this would be his third term. I think I saw that somewhere. And his but he is not making it easy for people to vote, to have a voice, to vote him out, to have him removed from power. And another interesting thing to know about him is that he is also a stooge and um, ally of Vladimir Putin. So he is in the autocratic club, which is a club that Donald Trump would like to be a member of as well. So, in order for people to take back their democracy in Venezuela, a lot of political violence has to take place. And the unfortunate thing is that this leader, Nicolas Maduro, he controls the military, and that is always an issue, you know, when it comes to autocratic takeover. The other interesting thing that happened today is that President Biden endorses a Supreme Court reform, and I think he wrote an op-ed in Washington Post, which I did not read, but I heard, I heard about it. I didn't read it as yet, and I agree that the Supreme Court needs reforming. It probably needed reforming a long time, not probably, it needed reforming a very long time ago, but it's better late than never. But the thing is that what people need to be aware of is that he can endorse Supreme Court reform as much as he wants, but what is needed is, again, engagement, political engagement, and, persistence and patience and political engagement from the electorate, from the voters. People need to provide a democratic president with a democratic Congress, and and a supermajority Democratic Congress, because we already know that the Republican Party has been completely taken over by MAGA, and even the old guard Republican Party was not interested in Supreme Court reform. They are actually quite responsible for the Supreme Court that we have today, and MAGA definitely is not interested in Supreme Court reform. So in order to have Supreme Court reform, it has to be a supermajority Congress of Democratic leaders, Democratic politicians, and it got to be brave, progressive, new, modern, young Democratic politicians, because it can't be people like Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema. So we can't have people like that. We have to have people that are willing. We have to have a willing Congress. So it may take time for actual proper Supreme Court reform, which is unfortunate because the Supreme Court that we have today can do a lot of damage, and I'm terrified of what they're going to do when they're on their next term, before the new president is inaugurated. So another thing that I found interesting today, I read one Substack article so far for the day, and it was one written by Joy White Vance, and it's called A Week Ahead. But the reason that I was drawn to that one is because she wrote about she discussed a path to removing Postmaster General Louis DeJoy, which you will remember him from his horrible shenanigans in 2020 and during the time of COVID, and his work in causing issues where mail-in ballots and voting was concerned, slowing down the mail. His actions that deliberately slowed down the mail, under the guise of budget cuts. And he was appointed by Donald Trump, or yes, he was appointed by Donald Trump, I believe, or something like that, because I don't think I think he was appointed by Donald Trump or something like that. I don't think there were, he was appointed by Donald Trump. So another thing, so I just want to share some good news as well. The Joy White Vance, in her article, she called it Coconut Tree News, And if you were paying attention, you would understand what she call it coconut tree news. But, discussing the grassroots organizing news for Kamala Harris. Interesting stuff. The Harris campaign reported raising about 200 million in the first week after JB's endorsement. Zoom is booming, and there's have been so many group Zoom calls, veterans for Zoom, white women for Zoom, black women, not for Zoom, white veterans for Harris, black women for Harris, white women for Harris, all kinds of LGBTQ, LGB, and LGBTQ plus Zoom call, and just so many different groups getting together. And there's this Zoom call that will have Pete Buttigieg and a lot of the white dudes that I follow and listen to on social media will be participating in this call. Zoom white dudes for Harris Zoom call, and apparently they have about 60K sign-ups already. That's interesting. That's really cool. The energy and excitement is so high right now. And I saw someone posted on Threads that they find themselves hope scrolling lately, and I have to tell you, I agree. I found myself hope scrolling for the last week because of all the movement and the good stuff that has been happening, and the energy and the rallying and the volunteers, which not to mention that along with announcing that they raised 200 million, the Harris campaign, the Kamala Harris campaign, also said that they had 170,000 people sign up to volunteer, and that is just amazing. That is wonderful. And some other things that I want to share is that my favorite ad that I saw today was one by Lincoln Project, and they call it Kamala for President. And you should go check out that ad. It was posted today, and it's very beautiful. It's showing the stark difference between Trump, Biden, and Kamala. And for me, I found it to be, it's my favorite one so far. I found it to be very respectful and focused and forward looking, and it was really good. My favorite meme that I saw, I found really, really interesting today, is that I saw one with the a new version of the "Don't Tread on Me" flag that from the Republican side, that "Don't Tread on Me" flag. And this one, there was a black cat with a snake in in its mouth, with the words "Kamala 2024, I'll tread wherever I want." And that was, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And to end this video, I just want to say to be vigilant and be prepared, because these people are not playing, and they are up to no good. This is actually a war that we are in. I'm sorry to say it. It is an informational war. It is a war between two worlds and two visions for the future. And they are up to no good and have a lot of people in positions to cause a lot of problems and a lot of shenanigans. And you have to pay attention to Donald Trump and the things that he's saying. You would have heard the quote from him this weekend where he said, he told Christians that they wouldn't have to vote again because next time will be fixed and they will never have to vote again. They just need to do it this one more time. And then there was a guy, Kevin Roberts, who is the Project 2025 leader, who he says a lot of dangerous stuff, a lot of anonymous stuff. He says we are winning, and in ways that the other side does not know. We're not going to tell you everything that's coming. Get ready for a fight. And that's some dangerous stuff. So I say all that to say, be vigilant, be hopeful, be vigilant, do the work. This is not going to be easy. Thank you for listening. Blessings.